Welcome back for another video. Getting this video out fresh and early with the GW15 deadline later today. I have to take a quick moment to thank the experts for getting their responses in quick during this busy period. Ultimately, the series is completely thanks to their input. Lots to unpack, including their top transfers made this week, captaincy, the experts team and more. Let's get into it. Matthew Higgins has moved top of the experts league with a score of 74 points on the weekend, and he's up to 5.4k overall. It's very tight at the top. We've got 4 experts in the top 10k already, and quite a few just outside. Matthew's surely aiming for his 7th top 10k finish of his career. 2 of those have been in the top 1k as well. The experts average was 63 points. Did you manage to beat them? The calm before the storm. It feels like a game week that's going to have a few twists and turns. This week, only 28% have rolled in the transfer. 64% have made 1 transfer, and 8% have made 2. 5 of those 8 on 2 transfers have taken a -4 to address problems in their teams. So who are the players that those transfers are being spent on this week? The man at the very top of the list might surprise you, or might not actually. It's Dubravka, who's been picked up by 28%. We discussed him a bit in yesterday's team selection video. In case you missed it or if you want a refresher, let's have a look at the pros and cons of Dubravka. So as we've learned, Pope's out for 4 or so months, so he could be set for a long run of starts, and he's only 3.9 mil. Naturally, there is a chance that Newcastle sign another keeper. They've been rumoured to be looking at De Gea, but it might not materialise. Consensus among the Newcastle fans is that Dubravka with Karius backup is good enough. He's a very good backup keeper to Pope. If he is the undisputed number 1, he'll be an absolute gift in FPL. And if Ariel is your other keeper, there's an extremely good fixture run by rotating the 2. You get a fixture run of Everton, Fulham, Fulham again, Luton, Forest, Brighton, Sheffield United, Luton, Forest and then Bournemouth. The run continues beyond that, that's just till Game Week 25. One con worth mentioning is that he takes up a Newcastle spot. Many of us have got 2 assets already, so you're blocking the choice to get a 3rd, unless you remove one or spend 2 transfers. We're just 4 game weeks away from the blank in 18 as well, which is something to keep an eye on in terms of where your transfers are spent at the moment and ensuring you get a good team out if you're not free hitting. For many teams, you might stand to gain more if you fix other problems in your team or even roll this week. All things considered, it has potential to be a great transfer, and as such 26% are dropping Turner. Pedro Porro is the 2nd top transfer with 14% picking him up. He's the clear superior pick over Udogie, and Spurs are boosted by the return of Romero versus West Ham this game week, having served his 3-match suspension. Porro's accumulated 3.4 expected goal involvement this season. Only Cash and Trippier have registered more, and of course Cash's numbers have dropped off recently. He's taken 18 shots, Trent's taken 19 and Cash 20 over the season. Spurs have got a nice block of fixtures with West Ham next. They've also got Forest, Everton, Brighton and Bournemouth in their next 6, and you can count on him to start every game. As such, 90% are selling Cash and a lot of them making that switch. 3% are opting for James, who is back from suspension as well. 3% are getting Trippier and 3% Lascelles. Tread carefully with Lascelles though. Botman is scheduled to return to training this week, so he could finally be nearing a start. Lascelles is probably fine for the next few game weeks though, and you definitely keep hold if you got him. It's just a question mark whether you get Game Week 18 out of him. Gordon's being picked up by 3%, a slightly risky transfer. He said he had tightness in his hip during the Man United game, but Howe really doesn't have another option for left wing, so he might play regardless even if on painkillers. He's up against his old team Everton. Something that's really flown under the radar is the introduction of Livramento into the team in left back. He's been excellent in left back, and Newcastle fans are actually calling for him to retain the spot even on Burns' return. Watching Newcastle play, he's built up good chemistry with Gordon already. The 2 link up really well, and that's definitely boosted Gordon. Burns just not able to offer the same skill sets as Livramento, but obviously he has other benefits like his physicality and height, so it's a good headache for Howe to have when he's back. 4% are bringing Palmer in this week. Based on the rumours that he'd picked up a minor injury in training, the benching against Brighton appeared to be precautionary, and everything points towards a start against Man United this week. And beyond that, Chelsea have got the best fixture run in the league for a while. Given the 0.7 mil difference now, if you can't get to Gordon, then Palmer's a great pick, particularly considering Gordon's flag and Chelsea's better fixtures. Palmer's got a higher expected goal involvement this season, but that's with 4 penalties. For non-penalty expected goals, Gordon wins with 5.92 to Palmer's 3.7 XGI. Gordon's played more minutes though, so if we break it down into per 90, it's actually pretty close. Gordon with 0.5 non-penalty expected goal involvements per 90 to Palmer's 0.45. Before we look at captaincy, here's the lay of the land in the overall rankings. Have a check where you sit currently and set a target for the new year. It's always helpful to have something to work towards. And over the next 25 days, there is 6 game weeks, so there's a chance to make fast gains. 26 points separates 2 mil from 1 mil. 19 points separates 1 mil from 500k. 35 points is the gap between 100k and top 10k at the moment. Rank 1 is somehow on over 1,000 points already, so I think I'm officially ruling myself out of winning FPL. No chips active this week, so we'll skim over that and on to Captaincy and then the experts team. Here's what they're doing this week. Salah dominates the polling with 92% captaining him, followed by Haaland with 6%, and one manager going for Ødegaard and one for Son. The anytime goal scorer probabilities are dead even this week, with Salah and Haaland both on 52%. So with a tie like that, the midfielder gets you an extra point per goal of course, and a potential clean sheet point, so Salah makes a lot of sense. This season Salah's got 5 double-digit returns, Haaland and Son have got 4 each. Salah was actually the biggest XG underperformer of Gameweek 14, failing to score from 0.77 XG total. Haaland also failed from 0.75 XG, so barely behind him. Haaland is Haaland though, we know what he's about, so if you've got a feeling about him, back it. FPL review projections are as follows. They favour Salah this week on 8.1 points to Haaland's 6.4, Son on 6.5 and Saka 6.1. Onto the experts team, built from the highest owned players across all their teams. There's been a few changes to the team. However, despite the Dubravka transfer volume, it's not quite enough to knock Turner out of the team. So Areola starts in goal. In defence, it's Gabriel, Tsimikas and Saliba. In midfield, Salah captain, Son, Mbeumo, Saka and Palmer. Up top, Haaland and Darwin. So Saliba and Darwin join the team in place of Cash and Watkins. It's very close, Watkins 42% owned still, but Darwin slightly ahead of 49%. Not a move that played out last week for those that made the switch. Darwin did have chances, on another day he gets a couple of returns. We know he can frustrate though, and there's still potential for the move to come good over the next few game weeks. Those of us who own Tsimikas are hoping he gets a start against Sheffield United, though he has started a few on the bounce now. It would tee up a potential transfer out in Gameweek 16 perfectly if he plays on Wednesday away to Sheffield United. Salah and Haaland are both 95% owned among the experts interestingly, and Mbeumo's up there to 92% after being the top transfer in last week. So let's move on and look at the top tips and insight the experts have shared this week. Some great nuggets of info here. Aaron Morley says, I don't normally like keeper transfers, but Areola since Game Week 8 has been a disaster, and his fixtures don't get any better. With Pope out, Dubravka has emerged as a cheap alternative from a much better defence. Villa's got a couple of other names to throw in. He said, I can't stand to see Areola in my team anymore, he has to go. Raya and Sanchez are the standout options if the budget allows it. Chris Dorset says, rolling the transfer this week, I think having the flexibility of 2 free transfers to react to any new injuries is important during this period. C. Corkery says, might be slightly early on James, but I feel he could be a big differential in Chelsea's great upcoming fixture run, especially with Gusto out. Admittedly, he's burnt me plenty of times before, so maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. Marco says, expect some rotation this week, make sure you've got decent bench cover. And lastly, FPL Hogmeister says, sometimes you need to not overthink it, just accept the early Christmas present and get Dubravka in. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, make sure you hit like. Let's try to get 2k before the deadline. And on that note, we'll be live for the deadline later. Hope to see you all then.